It's funny. Some of the questions that I would get fielded from people, it's like, well, how hard is it to get my EPA card? Because then I'm good to go. It's like, oh man,
Yeah.
that's not the hurdle.
That's not gonna be
That's
it.
not the hurdle.
Brother, you are just getting started.
Yeah.
That's
That
right.
gets you keys. That gets you keys to a work van.
Hello, and welcome back to Chill Under Pressure. I'm Les,
And I'm Adam, and we've got John Clemmer with us today.
Chiller Guys Hub, offshore refrigeration and HVAC guy. Cool job. Don, how you doing?
Not doing too bad. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
We're well.
Where are you right now? I see cool like coats in the background and stuff.
Yeah, I'm actually in Norway right now.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Very cool. It's a fascinating industry because people see this offshore stuff and they don't know much about it, right? And you're out there doing it, and when they do see it, they don't even think about the refrigeration, air conditioning, all the stuff that needs cooling. But that's a very specific thing that you're doing. How did you get there?
So for me, originally, I started out in the States, up in Minnesota, and I progressed there. And me and the wife wanted to change, want something different. So we pursued the Europe route. And so I got a job in the oil and gas industry, traveling around doing service when I started. And then I worked my way up there, and now I run the department. So I'm kind of building my own team to do the same thing. So it's a lot of fun.
So how much of the time are you spending out on rigs versus like back on shore? Like, are you out a lot?
I haven't been out so much lately. The last 8 months, I've been mostly onshore, actually. But usually guys are going out for 2 weeks. So they'll be offshore 2 weeks. They'll fly out on a helicopter. They'll be there for 2 weeks. They'll sleep there, and then they'll come back. And then usually they're home for 2 to 4 weeks. Just depends on the projects we got lined up. So they're usually home for 2 to 4 weeks. The longest trip I was on was 6. So it does vary. If it's just like onshore service, I guess, in a way. If there's urgent stuff, it takes priority. So
what's it look like different when you're onshore versus on the rig?
It's a much different pace. There's a big focus on safety and stuff like that onshore as well, but there's a lot more drills and avoiding crises and practicing things and making sure that everybody's on the same page with what we're doing. Because if you cause a shutdown, that's a no-no. That's frowned upon on an oil platform. But it's also if you create a safety hazard, you have 400 people on board that you're putting at risk. So there's a twofold there. So they take a little extra precaution with that stuff to make sure both of those things don't happen. So, and they're strict. If you're doing something you're not supposed to do, and you guys went through it, you talked about these things, they'll just ship you home. They don't mess around. So, which makes sense. It does make sense. Yep,
100%. So when the price of oil goes up per barrel, we wonder if someone shut down a safety thing and got something shut down.
Did the no-no.
I think the U.S. market is honestly pretty stable. Some of the smaller European stuff seems to be dependent on tons of small fluctuations and tiny market changes. You could have the price of fuel move, I don't know, 50 cents to $1 throughout the day, I would say.
Oh wow.
Yeah, fuel prices. Yeah.
Wow.
So some days it's low, some days it's really high, and so if you time it right, you can get cheap gas. So otherwise you're spending more, so if you don't plan ahead.
One of the things you list in your About You is like you can go to all the classes, you can do all the stuff, and you can do all the training, but the real lessons come and the real learning takes place at 3 a.m. Emergency calls, right?
Yeah, that's true, man. That is the truth. Yeah. It's unfortunate, but I think maybe I'm different, but that seems to be the only way I learn, making the mistakes and trying to figure it out,
Under fire at 3 a.m.
I don't think I learned any other way. Yeah, basically. Yeah, you have to figure it out. That seems to be the best thing for me.
Yeah.
To say, so you're running Chiller Guys Hub, and this is, I mean, effectively what it looks like to me is your
Yeah.
platform for helping other people in that same scenario, right? Helping each other, like getting folks together who can lean on each other, so you're not the only point of contact out there.
Yeah.
So was that your? I mean, what was your original vision, and when did that start? And just a little background on that.
Yeah, so originally it started out as in maybe as more of just a network, I guess, because I also needed help when I was over here because I didn't have any connections to suppliers in Europe. I didn't have any connections to anybody really, right? And so to have some connections with various manufacturers and to have some connections with suppliers and vendors and things like that over here as well, it's huge. It makes a huge difference. And then I also needed to hire people as well, and so that's a resource for that. And so it kind of started out like that as well, and then it just continued to grow. The guys seem to love it, the ones that are in there, and it's very much like LinkedIn. Guys can make posts and see what other people are doing. Guys can put in support requests in private groups. So if they're working on something specific and they have a problem, they can put a support request in and everybody will get a text message, or an email. So I think that's huge, right? Having that network of guys you can pull from. Something I never
see a
had.
lot of
something
a lot of
that
requests for, hey, does anybody have the manual for this? And or has anybody seen this one before? I've got this trouble. Like it's neat to like watch it fly through
Yeah.
and kind of, I wouldn't have any other answers, but it's neat to eavesdrop too and just kind of like watch people like learn from each other. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And as that network grows too,
Yeah,
there's
for sure.
always someone where it's not 3 a.m., right?
Yeah, that's true.
So it's 3 a.m.
Yeah,
for this guy, but
exactly.
he can put it out to the network.
100%.
Yeah.
And it's 10 a.m. in Australia or wherever somebody might be answering.
Don't know those time zones.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
somewhere.
Which is awesome,
Well, speaking of time zones, what time is it where you are?
It's 5:00 right here right now. Morning for you guys, 5 p.m. for me.
Yeah. Interrupting your dinner. We'll get you out
Oh
of here.
yeah, it's no problem.
It's funny because I get you work all hours. Like we've had a few conversations, and it's like I can pretty much be available. Like very flexible on time. You're used to working within those different time zones all the time. So, as at one point you're like, yeah, I can make whatever as long as I'm not in an emergency thing. I can make whatever time work because I'm just used to flying that way.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's part of it too. Is like these all the companies we service, all of our clients, they're all global companies as well. So we could have a platform that maybe I visited 6 months ago, and they're calling about a question on something for. Maybe they're in Africa right now, or maybe they're in Canada, or maybe they're somewhere else, right? We have some fixed stuff as well, but stuff moves around, so you have to be available, And plus, I think it's kind of basic form of respect to be available, pick up the phone.
Yeah.
I think is a good thing,
But and that's interesting too, because even on those offshore, like the stuff that moves, people don't really think about that. I don't. Like how frequently do they move, or how far do they move? Like the last time I worked on that platform was 1,000 miles the other direction or whatever. I don't know. Is that
Did that happen?
Does that happen? Yeah.
Yeah, of course. So they have accommodation platforms. So basically, you'll have more than likely a fixed installation. Maybe they have a bunch of maintenance or something coming up, and they need a whole bunch of manpower. So they'll have a mobile accommodation unit go, and they house maybe 450 guys, and they'll go anywhere in the world. Doesn't matter where you are. So they'll go to Canada, they'll go to Australia, they'll go to Africa. One of the ones I was on was in Africa. It moves slow. It's not a quick journey. It's moving at like 3 knots. It just got thrusters. It's like a giant pontoon boat with thrusters on the bottom, basically. So it is not quick, and it's not aerodynamic either. So yeah, it's meant for floating. It's not meant for sailing.
That's pretty wild. Pretty wild.
How far did we get today, Captain? Well, we made it 5 miles.
So when you're moving around like that, right? How's it work like regulation wise? We've had a few conversations like regulation, right? Like F-gas supplies, right? EPA applies in the U.S. So do you ever have it where it crosses over and how they have accountability in both?
Yeah, I mean, we personally go by the strictest. That's our company policy.
Yeah.
As far as what is actually required, I don't think if you go to some smaller African country off the coast, I don't think technically those rules apply. Maybe they do.
Right.
But I don't think so. But we always go by the strictest personally. That's what we do. That's our policy. Plus, it's good. It's good practice. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good
I
practice.
was
And every company that we've worked for wants the same thing. Yeah, go ahead, Adam.
yeah, no, I mean you're what you're saying makes sense. I was in Europe and we were working with a ship group and they were talking about they had bid on a project and and they were kind of bagging on them afterwards because they said, yeah, what they ended up doing was just going to one of these countries that doesn't have any regulation and then swapping out equipment and putting in whatever gas they wanted and so that they didn't have to, like, they were going to retrofit, but they didn't want to use any of the gases that were, heavily under patent and expensive. So I just was kind of shocked that was that company's perspective and practice. I thought that seems like a really risky move, right?
Right.
Because now you're going to end up going into another country, and at some point, somebody's going to try to clobber you. Like,
Right. Because you would have a gap.
Yeah.
Well,
right?
yeah, and especially when you come back into that country, like technically you're importing it then, right? So
Yep.
yeah, that's
Right.
frowned upon if they actually do get spanked, you know.
That's putting it mildly.
That's one of
It's
those-
frowned upon.
It's one of those no-nos. Might even get you shut down.
Exactly.
Practice. It's just to me, it's a bit fascinating that the world you're working in and the travel, what changes as it crosses boundaries, right? And so you do have to have a standard, like you said, to hold to. That we're just going by the absolute strictest. So no matter where we're at, we're going to be good. But
Yeah, for
lots
sure.
of cool stuff with what you're doing.
I did a recovery on a rig that had been brought up on shore in Scotland. This was, I don't know, 10 years ago. And it was weird because, I mean, you're getting, like, the equipment had to get craned up and they had like a very light skeleton crew still working on this thing, kind of tearing it down, stripping it down, and they still had some refrigerants and some cooling equipment, kitchen equipment, and a chiller. With apparently some of the bigger stuff was gone already. I don't know if they pulled it out and reused that equipment or what, but so it was kind of neat though to get to recover on a rig, and I was like, yeah, this is cool. Of course, it wasn't out in the water, so I didn't get to go on a helicopter to get there or anything quite as exciting as that.
Yeah. Me, I've only seen pictures.
We don't let Les out.
Yeah.
When I was in
Not
Africa,
allowed.
we had to take a little tiny speedboat out there. Like
yeah?
45-minute boat ride, on our way out. It's kind of funny,
I'm picturing those pirate,
Right.
like the pirate little speedboats with like.
Don't go near that shit.
That's how we looked from a
Make sure you have
distance.
the right flag.
That's how we looked from a distance. Yeah, exactly.
Don't shoot at us.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to talk the training you do. I want to talk more about that and from just watching your posts and the conversation we've had, how much it is just like walking with people on their journey. And I don't know if there's any more like specifics you want to talk about that. Like certainly we want to post the link on how to get there. I think you just launched something new as well, right? With the platform, was it a free access version, or you're working on that? There's different levels, right? Is that right?
For sure, yeah. So exactly. So the basic features, something like you would maybe see on LinkedIn, are free. So guys can go on there, they can connect with each other, they can send messages to each other, they can send messages to me. They can do general posts and things like that. That's no problem. They can apply for jobs if they want to apply for jobs. So they have a free version now. So we're also going to be launching an app probably in late January or early February. So the guys will be able to access it on the go as well, keep it in their pocket instead of having to drag around the computer. So that'll be really nice as well. Excited for that.
And then you have training modules on there too, right? Like you've talked about.
We do, yeah. So we have some stuff that we produce and we put out. We do a lot of live stuff with guys. So we'll do a live course. It's a lot more interactive. I personally think it's much better to be able to answer the questions live, go through things live with the guys, because the guys watching it after the fact are probably going to have the same questions, so they're answered anyway. And then we're also trying to do more with content creators as well, other content creators on YouTube. Danfoss, in the future, we went to Florida to meet with them. It sounds like they're going to be working with us to get some more training and material in there for the guys on the magnetic bearing centrifugal stuff. So that's pretty exciting as well. Just as time goes on, it's all about sharing the information. If manufacturers want to come in and they want to put out a mini course for the guys on something small, get guys more familiar with their equipment, help them solve some problems. I think that's great. So yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be me doing it. I'm just the only one at the moment, as far as the bulk of it. So
yeah, well, that goes with starting stuff, right? You're wearing all the hats. You're the
yeah, of course.
facilitator. You do all the training, and you build it up from there. But
yeah. For sure. But it is cool to see. I mean, I don't know if you've heard of like the engineering mindset and stuff on YouTube. He was willing to work with us for some of content. There's a couple other learning platforms as well. They're willing to share information. They like what we do. So I think that's pretty cool. So
that is cool. I have heard of engineering mindset. I think I've been watched a few of their things.
Are your members mostly concentrated in any particular region? Like, is it a lot of guys in Europe? Is it a lot of guys in the U.S.? Is it really diverse? I mean, where do you have any population kind of clustering?
Yeah, it's primarily in the States, but that's our primary focus, I guess. That's where it's based out of. That's where everything usually happens. But there's some other guys that tune in from other parts of the world too. We got some guys there's a fair amount of guys actually from New Zealand, Australia. I think there's some guys in there from Canada, a few other places. So it's kind of a big mix, actually.
It's not exclusive either, right? Just because you're not working in your specific field, you're working on chillers. That's the deal, regardless of their application or where they're being utilized. So people shouldn't be like, oh, that's for who working offshore, these specific applications. Like
oh yeah, no, absolutely not.
Right?
Yeah. Well, and I do offshore service, but nothing in there is catered to offshore service because that's not really like the average person is not going to go do that. Realistically, I would say
that'd be a pretty small group.
You're like 1%.
Yeah, there's like three people that do it. Well, there's just not so much. I mean, the oil industry is fairly small. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there for sure, but when it comes to service and stuff, it's just you don't have 150,000, 200,000 chiller mechanics that go offshore. You know what I mean? It's not, there's just not so many of them. So, and the fundamentals are the same,
Yeah. And I just want to bring it up because sometimes people look at the industry and they self-select themselves out from that group. And so I just want to say, no, it's not. It's open to, if you're working on chillers, then this is for you.
Yeah, if you're working on a drinking fountain, man, that's still cooling water.
We can help you there too.
We're all about helping each other, like that's all it's about. I mean, we all work together. It's not just me. I ask for help on different things too. Yeah, it's for everybody. We have pretty, I would say, strict guidelines with stuff. We don't just if a guy's going to come in there and badmouth somebody else, that's not something we tolerate. I mean, we've had a great group of guys. We haven't had to deal with any of that, which is great. So
good. So no one feels like they can't ask a question because someone's going to bag on them.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Questions around Adam.
Yeah, it's more about like help. It's more about like helping the guys out. If a guy doesn't know what questions to ask, it's really not that big of a deal. You just got to say, hey, look, in the future when you do this, make sure you have this information. Because all of us are super, super busy as well. We really want to help each other, but we can't if you don't put in an equal amount of effort.
Yeah, and there's sometimes you just get so frustrated that it's really simple, and you just need to make a call, even though it might be one of those, oh duh, right? But it's because you got so far along in it, and then you missed something.
Yeah.
And you don't need someone bagging on you for it. You can just be like, hey, been there, done that, because we all have.
No, of course. Yeah. Well, you don't know, right? Like this dude could have been working 7 days a week for the last 4 months and he's just absolutely exhausted, not thinking about nothing. He's just like, I got this. I don't know what's going on, and is maybe not thinking straight or something. I've been there. And then I call somebody and I say, hey man, I got this problem. As I'm explaining it to him, like, I don't need you, man. I think I just figured it out. I don't know what happened. I wasn't thinking, I already figured it out. Yeah. But how are you doing? How are the kids?
All the time.
Well, I got you on the phone. Yeah,
that's right. Let's talk about sometimes I feel bad that I wasted your time at 2 a.m.
Well, it's funny because it reminds me, I had a friend and he came to the house and I'm like, what's going on? He's like, I'm calling. I can't find the spare, right? I got a flat and I need to change it. But he's, it's always underneath. But he's in his new car and he's not used to it. It's mounted to the back. I think it's right there. He's like,
It's a Jeep,
"Oh."
dude. It's right there.
It was a Mercedes, one of their SUV Mercedes, but it was mounted to the back, and he just
didn't think about it.
Didn't see it because he's looking in the trunk,
laying on the ground,
either underneath the platform in the back of the vehicle, and so it just. But it's like you say, when you're doing a bunch of stuff and you're used to certain things flowing a certain way, and then you get tired, and then all of a sudden you miss something simple, right? And when you call up, you don't need
of course.
You don't need to be openly bagged on for it. But
so. We'd love to help you guys out and partner in a way. We could do sessions on recovery, fastest ways to recover chillers. I mean, we've done more recoveries on chillers than most of the guys you're working with will in a lifetime. Our past life recovery business, right? Yeah. We can talk about regulation too and kind of walk through what the rules are today. And there's enough background even in the F-gas space from my background too. I think we could even answer those questions, and we could do that live if you had folks who are interested in those things, or we could do something recorded too. But we'll throw that out there as a way to help the team.
Yeah, I think that would be fantastic, honestly, especially the regulation stuff. I've talked to Les before. I think a lot of guys are caught up in the day-to-day that they're not subscribing to the EPA's newsletter, so we just don't know everything that's going on.
It's a little dry
all the time. There's lots of changes. Well, yeah, I'd imagine, but we do our best to keep up, but there's a lot of stuff that slips through the cracks. So I think something like that would be fantastic.
Yeah, we're all about it. So let's when we get off the call, we can work on setting something up in a time where it works for you, and be happy to do that. It'd be pretty good.
Yeah, going back to kind of where I started, like I see in the conversations we've had and the things you post that it really is. Hey, if you're getting started in this industry and you're starting work and you've been to the classes, but you haven't had those 3 a.m. things and you haven't had the 2 a.m. things, or you need a 2 in the afternoon thing, right? Call us. We want to help you. We're on that journey with you. And that's what first struck me when we started talking, is this is something where we're in it with you. Right.
Yeah, for sure. And even for seasoned guys, we got a lot of guys from all sorts of manufacturers. Lots of guys that were manufacturers for 20, 30 years. They retired, but they missed the field. So they tune in. There's a lot of guys out there that are passionate about it, that want to help other guys. So that's cool. Lots of really sharp guys. Really cool, so it's definitely nice to have that. It's wonderful.
That's really cool. Like, that is the environment that you want to build, and the culture that you want to build.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of people feel alone when they come into the industry. It's funny. Some of the questions that way back that I would get fielded from people, it's like, well, how hard is it to get my EPA card? Because then I'm good to go. It's like, oh man, that's not the hurdle.
That's not
not the hurdle,
brother. You are just getting started.
That's right.
That gets you keys. That gets you keys to a work van.
So are you slated to go back out as of right now, or are you onshore for a bit?
Yeah, I'll be onshore for a bit. I'll also be heading back to the States as well shortly. So I'll be leaving for the States 5 days.
Okay. And you're going back to Minnesota in the States, or where are you going in the States? Okay.
Yeah, Minnesota, maybe down to Illinois. We might have one more podcast in Philadelphia, possibly. So we'll see. But at least Minnesota and Illinois.
Very good.
Home for the holidays.
That's nice. Get to see family and freezing cold north and Illinois and Minnesota. You might want to make a pop down to Arizona where it's warm and at Christmas.
That wouldn't be horrible.
Any parting shots, any words of wisdom, anything you want to get out there before we wrap up?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just that the whole reason why we do all this stuff is just to help the next generation of guys and to build a strong network for guys. A lot of times we isolate ourselves and we are a little stubborn and we don't want to ask for help. So I think that that's kind of the whole point of this, right, is to have a strong network of dudes that we can bounce ideas off of each other, we can help each other and get home to the family. That's why we do it. So
safely, get home. That safety thing again, right?
Yeah,
for sure.
So, John, thanks so much for joining us. It's been fascinating talking to you. The work you do is fascinating.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Right? Like, yeah, you bet. So, our Chill Under Pressure. I'm Les.
I'm Adam, and that's John. Thanks for joining us, John. We'll catch you next time.